Yes, this is Adrian from MBX Extreme. Thought we'd do a video on our new 10-round magazines. We have 10 round in both calibers of 40 and 9mm 38 Super comp. So, and we also have two different lengths, one at 126 and also at 140. A lot of people ask, well, why do you have two different lengths? Well, depending on what class you shoot, and also the 140 allows for the magazine to be reloaded easily. So if you have a magwell, the 140 is probably going to be the best choice for that. So a couple of different things here. We have our competition follower and we have our slide lock follower. It's a new slide lock follower that's been designed. It's made out of a very tough material, so it's going to give you plenty of longevity. And our competition follower will not lock the slide back. So that's just the basic difference between the two. We also have a new spring, which is especially for the 10 round to allow to go between the channels here and give plenty of power to make sure that the 10 round locks the slide back should you require that follower. So let's get straight to the part of it here. So basically, you can see this is the 126, this is the 140. So I'm going to put them in the gun so you get a little bit of an idea. So that's really how it sits with a 126. It's just barely below the bottom of the magwell with the square base pad on it, which was great. But obviously, if you're a USPSA, you're maybe used to a little bit longer for reloading. So this one sits a little bit longer and allows for a little bit easier reload to be able to seat the magazine with it sitting at the bottom of the magwell. Okay. So that's those. So I just wanted to talk about a few things concerning the slide lock feature. There's a lot of variables out there that can cause the slide to work or not to work, besides the magazine. So with this, that's what you're looking for at the end of the last round. The last round's been fired, the slide comes back locked, it then enables you to take the gun to reload and then to release the slide and go forward from there. So the variables really are basically a few things that you can check. If you're having any issues with the slide lock, then you can make sure that your gun is up to the standard it needs to be in order to have consistent slide lock. So we'll just talk about a few of those things quickly, and one of them is the part that engages the slide here, the slide stop itself. It has a little detent. You probably heard it snap in and out there. Depending on the pressure on this detent, this can be, a lot of gun builders will make them very stiff, or just if it hasn't been used a lot, can have a lot of gunk in there. So a good check is always to put in your new MBX magazine, and then it should pop it up just like it did, and the detent will not hold that, you can see. So that's one good check. Make sure if that's working, then at least you know this part is good and it's engaging and it's pushing up. One of the other things about slide lock is that in order for the slide to come all the way back and for the lock to be engaged, the slide has to come most of the way back. It has to come virtually 99% of the way back to the end in order for the slide stop to be engaged at that point. There's a couple of things. If you run a shock buff, it can allow the slide to not come back as far as it needs to. So a shock buff can be an issue because it basically short strokes the slide and will not allow it back. One of the other things is that if you're shooting particular loads that may be a lower power factor than say major, you have to make sure that the recoil spring is not overpowering the slide, and as such the gun will cycle, but the load is not enough to kick it all the way back in order to allow the slide stop to be engaged. So those are a couple of things you can check and are worth looking at, and can cause these issues, like I said, with the slide stop. So if you get the magazine, basically you're having an issue with the slide stop, then basically when you go into this position here, you should be able to see that come up. And if that's the case, then really the magazine and the slide stop is doing its job, so you have to look for other areas. So that's just that point. So So basically, our magazines are the stainless steel, extremely durable. We have the billet aluminum base pad on them, which take plenty of abuse, and you're going to be dropping these a lot if you're going to be using the 10 rounds. And they should give you plenty of life and longevity out there shooting. All right, so I think that about wraps it up. Thanks very much.